Chapter 5. Sharp Mouth. Three's time. Can you hear me? It's me, Keeta, grandson of Grandpa Samm'p. I was speechless because I wasn't prepared until the other end of the line started chattering back to me. And then I came to my senses. Are you asleep or listening? How did you know my number? Grandpa asked me to call you. Call me. I asked curtly. Peter was silent for a moment until I felt uncomfortable. Could it be that he remembered what happened between us that night? I don't think so. That boy seems to have a very short memory. Even when we met during that day, he didn't seem to remember. Or if he did, I wouldn't care. Grandpa asked where to deliver the suit tomorrow. I have something to do tomorrow evening. My grandpa will deliver it himself. Where are you going at that late hour? I blurted out. That night I met him, he was drunk like a dog, or was he a party boy who went out every night? Why do I have to report to you? Where I'm going? That's why you're so rude. Just asking. That's right, why are you asking? Hey, you are so naughty. I clutched my temples, feeling a throbbing headache. No one had ever dared to talk back to me like this before. What time do you think this suit will be finished? I don't know yet. I think if Grandpa finishes it early, I'll deliver it before I go out to do some errands. But if it's late, Grandpa will have to deliver it himself. Where do you want me to deliver it? Then call me when you're done so I can tell you where to take it. I interrupted. But the hospital is close to where I'm going. Can you let me leave it at the hospital? No, I quickly said. Let's just call me when it's done. I put my earphones to my ears and heard Keeta irritated chirping again. I didn't want him to bring my dad's new suit to the hospital because it seemed like he had prepared it too much in advance. I still couldn't accept it. My dad will have to stay here as long as he can. Keeta was quiet for a moment, then he agreed politely. All right, I'll contact you again. Okay, that's all for now, I replied shortly, but then I remembered something, so I called him back. Wait a minute. What else? Nothing. I dismissed it and immediately hung up. He must have been wondering because a few minutes later, while I was lost in front of the hospital, telling Samm'p to go back, suddenly a line message rang out. I looked down at the screen and saw that it was a boy named Keeta who had added me online, followed by a cute and mischievous cartoon character raising his hand to say hello. I hesitated whether to reply or add him as a friend. Then he sent me another message. Accept me. Look at the name he used, Key of Heart. Suddenly message by Key of Heart to show. Key of Heart said, okay, if you don't answer, send me your address here. I don't want to talk to you either. It's a waste of time. I was annoyed, but I felt like replying anyway. Threekacha said, hey, boy, when you're free, go drink milk and sleep. A short while later, the line sounded again. I couldn't help but laugh when he sent me at least 3 stickers line of a sullen face, followed by another message. Key of Heart said, I'm not a boy but I'm a man. Threekacha said, I thought so. I typed a reply and sent him a cartoon of him smiling slyly. Thinking about it, it was fun and I got to sharpen my lips with a boy whose lips were still full of milk. I also had to sharpen my fingers by replying to him. Not long after, the line sounded again. This time I frowned because Keeta sent me some kind of clip. I hesitated to click because these days there are so many scammers that I don't trust them. But when I saw the begging emoji the boy sent, I clicked to watch it. The music I saw was just his fingers skimming across the small old keyboard. But the classical music playing was so beautiful. I closed my eyes and leaned against the pillar in front of the hospital, listening intently. But then a voice called out to me, breaking my immersion in the music, Sir. Samm'p. Les, sir, didn't I tell you to go back? Les, but I'm afraid that the master won't let you stay here. Samm'p hesitated. But it seemed like he knew my father's personality well. I knew that he must have known that my father would send me back to Nara like usual. So he waited to pick me up. I sighed and quickly put my phone in the inner pocket of my suit jacket. Following Santhea to the car, I got in my usual seat and the line app started ringing again. What the hell? I sighed, but I wasn't annoyed that the boy was pestering me. I guess that boy must be very free. Key of Heart said. You, Threekacha said. What is it? Key of Heart said. That song is for you to listen to when you're in a bad mood. Do you know that when you're in a bad mood, you look sullen? Ha ha ha. I frowned again. How did this boy know that I was sulking when I was talking to him? Key of Heart said. Hey, are you going to scold me? Stop thinking and just listen to the song. That's all. I could only shake my head in exasperation. I slowly closed my eyes and leaned against the seat, listening to the clip. After I finished listening to the song, I felt much more relaxed, as if Keeta's song had touched my heart. It made my restless heart relax and a smile gradually appeared. I looked up and saw Santhea secretly looking at me and smiling. I realized it and quickly adjusted my mood back to being serious. After I finished listening, I felt like talking to Keeta. But I was too lazy to type back, so I pressed accept as a friend and called him online instead. When he answered, I asked him without letting him speak first. Who played this song? Me. You played it yourself. Me, of course. What cat would play such a beautiful song? Keeta retorted. I just smiled because I couldn't continue being retorted anymore before I realized that I had to answer him. He asked again. Why are you so quiet? Are you still here or have you passed out? Nests. Oh, you look so quiet. I thought you were asleep. I can't sleep because of the kitten meowing at me right now. And not a cat. Then you're a puppy. That's crazy. That's all. Oh. Keeta seemed upset, but I found it amusing. My lips twitched in amusement without my knowing. Who did this boy think he was, sharpening his scissors at me so relentlessly? I don't know. It seems that I was a great debater when I was in college. Hey, you. Oh, that's all you said. Wait a minute. Can I ask you something? Say it. He was silent for a moment before asking me. From your experience as an adult, how do you think I played this song? I frowned at his question as usual. How could he think of asking when we weren't close, and we had only just started talking a while ago? But in fact, he was a little impressed with me. That's good. Really? Right. Why did you suddenly ask? Aren't we close? I asked back out of curiosity. But he hesitated for a long time before answering. I don't know why I wanted to ask. I just want to know how you feel when listening. Do my feelings matter? Of course. I was stunned and he was silent for a moment before I heard his reply. Don't forget to send me the address to send the suit here. I won't have to bother you anymore. I'm going in. Bye. I hung up and scrolled through his profile online. Then I stumbled upon a post. It was a short sentence that seemed like the poster was complaining about his fate. Swallowing the words of someone who looked down on me and turning them into power. And it will pass. Good luck. Me. What did you say? Santhea's question startled me and I quickly denied it. No, I just read something funny. I didn't think that boy would write something like this. I think he wants to be a life coach. Which boy? He wants to be a life coach. Don't tell me he's that dirty little boy, sir. I almost choked on Santhea's words. I felt very dissatisfied. Don't call that boy dirty anymore, sir. I don't like it. Less, sir, because I can only call him that. Nests. I cleared my throat softly and turned my face away from the window. I felt that my tone of voice a moment ago was so abrupt that Santhea, who was secretly looking at me, had to look away. I must be crazy to be irritated by Santhea's words on behalf of that boy. Even though I was the one who called first, after dropping me off, hurry up and go rest. I cut him off and lowered my head to scroll through my phone screen as usual. Santhea was quiet, focused on the path ahead as usual. I suddenly thought of something and opened Keeta's line again. I scrolled through the old post until I found the previous post to see who commented on it. And there it was. You still have me. Thank you, Brother Chun. Remember that I will never abandon you. I know. I read the replies from both of them and the heart emoji from the owner of that comment and felt a little irritated. Who is this guy named Chun who would care about my person? Of course, Keeta is mine. What right does that young man have to care? I clicked to look at the young agent's profile and felt strangely familiar. But I didn't know where I had seen him before. I stopped paying attention and put my phone in my suit pocket and crossed my arms to look out the window. Tonight, the sky was dark and covered with clouds, making it almost impossible to see the moon. It was like my heart was gloomy and I could barely perceive the beauty of the noisy outside. Because I had to return to the same old circle at the quiet Siri Group empire as usual. As soon as the car stopped in front of the door, before I could even step on the floor, I heard a scream coming from inside. Again, I could only shake my head in exasperation and hurried inside. Just as the nanny Nara walked out to greet me. Young lady, I know, I'll see for myself. I hurried up the stairs as soon as the screaming started again. It felt like the distance was so far that I had to quicken my pace. When I reached the door, I pushed it in hard. The sight in front of me was Nara standing with her body bent down, her body shaking. Her little hands kept ruffling her hair until I had to go to her and kneel down in front of her. She paused before looking up with her tear-stained face, and immediately threw herself into my neck. What's wrong, Nara? Daddy help Nara, please. What happened? Tell Dad, I asked her in a gentle tone. She hugged me with tears streaming down her face. Her eyes red and her nose red. Her snot dirty as she hid her red face on my shoulder and rubbed her face back and forth. Nara, tell Dad, I comforted her in the gentlest tone I could think of. Nara likes people to speak nicely. She doesn't like loud noises or loud noises. Even the sound of people arguing can make Nara's emotions flare up without her knowing. It must be the aftermath of that time. I pushed Nara away a little, wiped away the tears that wouldn't stop flowing, and pinched her stubborn red nose for a moment. Then Nara calmed down. Tell Dad what happened. Nara had a nightmare, her voice trembled. I could only pet Nara's little fluffy head with love and pity. Another nightmare. Nests, what did you dream about this time? Nara dreamed that Mom came to see her. Mom was covered in blood. No matter how much I called her, she didn't turn around. I cried so hard that Mom left me. Nara was heartbroken. She said while sobbing until I was worried. Looking around for help, I remembered that I had just chased Nara's nanny home first. I thought I could handle her, but this was her most fragile matter. So what should I do now? Don't cry, my dear. Should I take you to bed? Good. Nara hugged me tightly, her fluffy head resting on my shoulder, knowing what to do. I took her to the bedroom and laid her soft body on the bed gently, then sat down next to her. Go to sleep. Dad will stay with you until you fall asleep. But Nara isn't sleepy anymore, Daddy. She hesitated. When I saw my daughter's worried face, I knew that her panic attacks had returned after being gone for a long time. I remembered, so I picked up my phone and opened the clip that Keeta had sent me, intending to play it for her, but Nara's eyes widened and she immediately stood up to grab my mobile phone to watch the clip. This is it, Daddy, she said enthusiastically. And she grabbed my hand and moved herself to sit on her lap before turning up the music. I raised my eyebrows and pointed at the screen. But Nara seemed possessive and just took the phone away. Nara will listen. Daddy, let me listen to this, I said, stroking her soft dark brown hair. Nara wants to learn piano, Daddy. Dad sent a teacher to teach me. It's not the same. Nara wants to learn with this teacher, she said, poking her chubby finger at the owner of the hand in the clip. Daddy, can you let this guy teach Nara instead of Teacher Nick? Was Teacher Nick teach well, Nara?